All right, boom, bam, bam. Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Marco McDonald, and today is my first reaction video. Now, guys, I want to react to a Dave Ramsey clip I came upon on Instagram. I feel like this clip embodies my whole message to some degree, because what he mentions in this short 30-second clip, if adhered to, could save people a lifetime of headache. Now, for those of you that don't know, Dave Ramsey is a financial, he runs like a financial show, giving financial advice, helping people get out of debt. A lot of his books are around financial literacy and how to pay off debt. But a big part of his content is also how to live in harmony with your partner, you know, and how money can help you get to that point. So do I agree with Dave Ramsey in all that he says? No. But in regards to what he says in this video, I am 100% in alliance. Now, guys, let's hop in the video and then I'll break it down.
If you are agreed on 4 things prior to marriage, you have a very high statistical probability of staying married. Money, how we handle it, how we view it. Kids, are we going to have them? How many? How are we going to treat them? The crazy people in our family called in-laws. Everybody's got it, so how are we going to handle that? How are we going to handle the extended crazy? And are we going to stand beside each other in that? And it's religion, agreement on religion. And so if you're in agreement on those 4 things, you have a very high probability.
All right. So what are the 4 things that he said you have to be in agreement with? Money, religion, relatives and how to deal with relatives, and how to raise children. I 100% agree. Now let's break it down, guys. Anyone that tells you that money is not important within a relationship dynamic is someone that you should not be listening to. Money determines the level of comfortability you and your partner will have. Money and issues over finances are in the top 3 reasons why people get divorced. Guys, it's hard to have a loving, caring home. It's hard to work on your relationship when you're constantly trying to stay above water. It's hard to appreciate your family, to appreciate your wife when you don't know where the next meal's gonna come from, when you don't know if you're gonna get thrown out of your accommodation this month. Money gives you the ability to create memories. Money gives you choice. Money gives you freedom. So money is extremely important. Now, why do you have to be in unison with your partner on money? The reason being, guys, is that unfortunately we are all raised differently, and there are so many people that get with someone that they feel is compatible with them, but that person has no money management. That person does not know how to allocate funds. And then what ends up happening, guys, you get with someone like this, and then one day they come home and they've got a new car, they've got a new Chanel bag or whatever it may be, and you're thinking, what are you doing? We can't afford this. And it's like they can't wrap it around their brain that they have just introduced a financial liability into the relationship. As a result, it causes tension between you as a couple. You also need to be in unison in regards to finances, because finances, in order to build a real strong base moving forward, you need to come together and decide how exactly are we going to build our foundation. So let me give you an example, guys. Me and my missus, you know, we sat down once and we said, okay, how much do we both make? Okay, cool. Well, realistically, how much can we both put away in a savings account? We both committed to a figure, and every month, boom, that money was going away into a savings account. because we spoke about it. We was in unison about it. And then we knew if we keep on doing this, then by the time we get to this date or that date or this date or that date, then we'll have this much money and we can do this with that money. Right? That has taken a massive strain off us because while we are joint in that, we both have the same understanding in regards to that. Now, children, guys, why is children so important? Guys, children are your legacy. Children are something that you both share. And unfortunately, people, depending on how they're raised, have radical ideas around raising children, especially if you're in an interracial relationship. So, for example, my wife is Asian, right? So the way that they are raised is completely different to the way I am raised. I come from an Afro-Caribbean background, right? But to this day, me and my missus still have little differences in what we feel the right move is. But for the most part, we're on par with what we want for our children. Because once we understand what we want for our children, it helps determine how we are going to raise them. For example, I've always expressed that I want my child to know how to defend themselves. I never want them to be subjected to bullying. I never want them to be subjected to insecurities. So I've always said to my missus from an early stage that when I have kids, I want to put them in some form of martial arts. And she agreed. We're in agreement. My missus has always expressed that she wants her children to be bilingual. We're in agreement. When it comes to disciplining, we are both on the same page with disciplining on how we should discipline our kids. We are in agreement. So because we are in agreement with all these things, guys, the decisions that I choose to make or the decisions that she chooses to make, even though sometimes they may differ slightly, it never causes massive tensions within the family. Because we both understand the end goal on where we want to end up with our children. And guys, I've actually made a video on families before and the importance of families. So I'm so happy that Ramsey decided to speak about this. Guys, families have the ability to break up a marriage, unfortunately. Outside of you and your partner, families hold the biggest influence and sway in what you and your partner will decide. You guys have to remember, your partner loves you, but they also love their mother, they also love their father, they also love their alcoholic sister, they also love their gambling brother, they also love their jealous and manipulative cousin. And what I've come to realize is that if couples don't come together and decide that it's me and you versus the world, you are truly opening up yourself to a lot of manipulation, a lot of sway, and a lot of back and forth. Am I saying that someone should disregard their family? No. You know, I come from an Islamic background, and to disregard your family is a big, big deal. But at the same time, there are times when you and your partner may have to come together and say, look, you know how my family is, I know how your family is. When we have issues with each other, let's just keep it to ourselves, unless it really needs to be, shared with the greater community. Do you know what? I know your mother can be difficult, or I know my mother can be difficult, so moving forward, this is how we deal with them. And come to a common ground and be very realistic about your families and be very realistic about some of the challenges that you may have. Because the problem is, guys, is that what happens is that people sometimes, they have difficult parents or difficult siblings, and they expect their partner just to put up with the difficulty of their parents or their siblings, and they don't try to create a plan. They don't try to create an alternative to dealing with these people. And then what ends up happening is that it wears down your partner, and it gets your partner to a point where they now want to exit the relationship because they can't deal with the people that are connected to you. And guys, the last point I feel is the most important is religion. Guys, religion determines culture. a lot of the times. Religion determines the kind of food we eat. Religion determines the kind of holidays we celebrate. Religion determines the kind of morals that we have. And when you are with a partner that's on a complete different spectrum in regards to religion, it can create crazy tension. So for example, guys, my household is Islamic, right? We eat halal food. We celebrate Eid. We don't celebrate Christmas. You know, I want my kids to eventually learn the Quran and learn Arabic. A lot of the morals that me and my missus have in regards to not cheating people, not being dishonest and stuff like that, it comes from a lot of Islamic values. Now, if I now married a woman that came from, let's say, a Hindu or a Buddhist background, which I'm not allowed to in my faith, but let's say I did, it will cause major tensions. Why? The food that she wants to eat is not in line with what I want to eat. She might want to feed this to our children. I'm saying no. The holidays that she wants to celebrate may be in complete contradiction to what my beliefs are saying, that I cannot participate in these things, meaning that it will cause a fracture and a divide in our family. Oh, I'm going to the temple to worship whatever God. Allah says I can't do that. Allah says that, you know, I have authority over my children and I can't allow them to do that. Oh, but they're my kids too. Yeah, I know, but my faith, I can't allow them to do that. Sorry. So guys, to wrap this up, what am I saying, right? I believe love is overrated. I believe that there's a lot more you need to come in unison with in order to have a beautiful and fulfilling relationship. Guys, we all love big titties, we all love big bum, we all love pretty faces. Girls, we all women, sorry, we all love, you know, wide shoulders, we all love big chest, we all love abs, we all love a 6 foot tall brother. But is that what's going to help you have a successful and fulfilling relationship? Because those things are subjected to change. Those things are not what helps build the fundamental building blocks to a successful relationship. So guys, the thing I leave you with is this. Focus on these 4 principles next time you meet somebody and see how in line they are. And if they're not in line, are they willing to at least understand your points? Are they willing to potentially change? Or are you willing to potentially change? Guys, comment down below and let me know, man, what you think. Peace.